What is going on, everybody? Happy Halloween. We have a fun 8-game NBA slate tonight. It's the first night of the NBA Cup. Should be a lot of fun. I'm really liking this slate. It's probably one of the better slates of the week. I wasn't really a fan of last night's, but we swept the board anyway. Honestly, I'm on the absolute heater of my life right now. In the month of October, I'm up over 80 units, a little over $2,000, and we've just been on an insane run about the last 2-3 weeks or so for NBA and NFL. So you're getting in at a pretty good time. For the video today, I've got about 5 straight bets and a couple parlay fillers for you guys, getting this out a little earlier than usual, mainly because it's Halloween. A lot of you guys have kids that you're going to be out trick-or-treating with, or, if you're younger, you're probably going to a party or something. So I wanted to get this out early to you guys so you can lock in these picks before going on with your festivities. A few housekeeping items like normal. So number one, join the free Discord server. Link to join is in the description below. We have a really good community in there. I think we're almost pushing 1,800 members now at this point too. A lot of people sweating bets and winning cash in there, and it's just a really good time during basketball and football season to be in there. Number two, obviously, I have a bunch of free plays here on YouTube, and then I post you on Twitter and on the live streams and stuff. But if you want to see every single slip that I'm placing, how I said I'm up 80 units this month, over $2,000. I posted every single one of those slips for the VIPs. So if you want to sign up for VIP, there's a link in the description below. And that link actually gives you a 7-day free trial too. So you'll get a full week of NFL and NBA plays if you use that trial. And lastly, I'm using Outlier here for the video. Outlier.bet is the website. This is the website that I use every single day for my research. It has saved me so much time throughout the years clicking through the player cards, and instead of going through box scores, it is a paid website. So if you want a 7-day free trial, there's a link below to try it out. And quite honestly, it changed my life as soon as I found Outlier. It saved me so much time with my research and everything. So let's get into the plays here. Since I have a lot of them, this video is going to be a bit longer than normal, but at least it's out earlier for you guys. So the first play I'm on tonight is this freaking guy, Derek White, under 30.5 PRA. So there's still no Jason Tatum. And White has been shooting really bad this season. He's only shooting 31% of the field, 25% from three. That's significantly down from his season averages last year. But he's gone under this number in 12 out of 16 games without Tatum the last 2 seasons. And if I filter for away games, he's gone over in all 6 away games in this sample, averaging only 21.5 PRA. He's probably going to burn me, I'll be honest. I mean, I've been betting his over 3-pointers every single night and clenching my cheeks into the fourth quarter, hoping that he makes a third 3-pointer. He finally cashed for us the other night. Maybe he's going to get a little hot, but I think he's going to go under tonight against the Sixers. This under 30.5 is a solid line, and I think this number is just a tick too high, and it's just got good value on the road. So moving on to the next play. In the same game, I have Tyrese Maxey over 40.5 PRA. Now, I'm not in love with this play. I do like it. He's been really hot to start the season. He's averaging 49.5 PRA. He's leading the NBA in scoring. And if I filter for games with Embiid active, because he did miss one game, in the 3 games with Embiid active, he's gone over this number every time, obviously, but averaging 47.7 PRA per game, about 35 points per game on an average. He's just been on an absolute tear. I'm going to filter for games without Paul George as well, but with Joel Embiid. Not a large sample size. We're only looking at the 4 games here. 1 game last year, the 3 games this year. But he's averaged 48.5 in this sample, and he did put up 48 PRA against Boston about a week ago or so. So really good spot for Maxey. I'm leaning towards him going over this number. And plus, he's been playing insane minutes this year in general. And we'll look at these 3 games. He's had 40-plus minute every single game. Obviously, this one, basically played every single minute, but they did go into overtime. So 41 minutes is probably what we're going to get, 41, 42 minutes. And that's plenty of time for him to go over this number. Even if he's not scoring 40 real points, he does enough on the peripherals to get there for us too. Third play here is actually the other side of a play that I have been on the entire season. And it's going to be a scary one, but it's Austin Reeves under 42.5 PRA. I took his over 43.5 the other night. I had his over 42.5 the night before. I had over 30, whatever and a half the day before. Like Austin Reeves has been our money printer this season on his overs. I'm pretty sure I bet his over almost every single game this year. So why am I going with the under? Main reason, Luka's back tonight. So if I filter for games with Luka, and if I filter for games without LeBron, and we'll look at the last 2 seasons, he's gone under this number 5 out of 7 times. The only 2 times he went over this number, he landed on 43 on the dot and needed, just a really efficient game. I think with Luka back, that really takes a massive hit on Austin Reeves' production. So I'm going to go with this under 42.5. It's going to be a scary bet. It's actually moved down a little bit since the opening, but that's mainly because of the Luka news. And it might even go even lower. Like if we get like a definitive Luka Doncic confirmed in or like a starting lineup or something, I can see this going down to like 40.5 by the time the game tips off later on. So I think you're getting some value in this on Austin Reeves under. It's going to be a scary bet, especially with how good he's been playing. But if you look at the recent form over the last couple of years with this situation, I think this 42.5 number is just a little bit too high. I got 2 more plays here on the regular lines. These are both going to be first half props. So if you're not on Underdog Fantasy or PrizePicks, you can't place these. You can skip ahead a minute or two if you really want. But mainly, I love these first half props, mainly on Underdog Fantasy. And if you don't have an account with Underdog, but you want to sign up for one so you can take advantage of these props, you'll get like a sign up bonus and stuff too. Some promo bets, a lot of profit boosts, things like that. It's really nice when you sign up for a new account on Underdog Fantasy. But if you want to sign up with my code Lay the House RM, there's also a link in the description below. I'll actually give you 3 months of my VIP for free. So if you sign up using my code, send me a screenshot or something or a DM, and I'll hook you up with a 3-month trial of my VIP. That gets you my picks basically all throughout football season, the rest of the year too. So definitely should take advantage of that offer. And you want to get on these first half lines. Trust me, they've been so much money the last 3 or 4 years. So the first one I'm on tonight is Devin Booker under 21.5 PRA. As usual, wait and see for Underdog Fantasy to come out with a line. They're typically a point or half a point different than PrizePicks. So I wouldn't be shocked if Underdog comes out with 22.5 later on in the day. They usually post their lines around like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, kind of depends on players. So just be on the lookout for those. I typically wait to make a slip on the first half lines until we get those lines from Underdog Fantasy. But the main reasoning for this, this was a money printer last year. He went under this number in 75% of the games last year. And I've been waiting and seeing on Booker to start the season because I wasn't really sure what was going to happen without Kevin Durant and with the changes to the lineup and everything. Bradley Beal's gone. Like, it's just like a totally different team this year. But basically, he's gone under this number every single time this season. All 5 games, averaging only 16 PRA. He only had 8 PRA in the other game against Memphis the other night. I doubt he's going to end up with 8, but I'd say somewhere between that 15 to 19 range is the most likely, considering that's generally where he ended up most of last year too. He might even tick up near 20, but hey, 21.5 is a pretty tough number to get, as you could tell. We cashed LaMelo Ball last night on 20.5, and he went absolutely off, but he went the last 2 minutes without a PRA. So that definitely happens in the first half, and that's why these first half lines, they're so exploitable. I got one more first half line for us too before I get into the parlay fillers. We're going with Kawhi Leonard under 12.5 first half points. This was another play that was money for us last year if I filter for games with James Harden, which I think was almost all of them actually. But if I filter for home games, he went under in 17 out of 23 home games last season, averaging only 10.6 first half points per game. Looking at this season, he's actually gone over both times, just 13 on the dot. But when it's only 13, like it's only a half point difference and they're just like barely ticking over, I tend to lean towards the under because if you're just kind of looking at the range of outcomes, he's typically just going over. So if he misses like 1 or 2 more shots, he's going to go under this number, especially, with the lineup now with Beal in town, with James Harden healthy, like there's just so many places for this ball to go. So I'm going to ride this trend and kind of focus on the last year's trend of him going under about 75% of the time of the game. So, but, like I mentioned before, wait for Underdog Fantasy. They might come out with like a 13 line. They don't typically go over 13 much with Leonard, but just be wary of that when you're placing this bet. All right. Heading over to the parlay fillers, I've only got 2 of them tonight. But what I do with these parlay fillers is basically I combine them with these regular lines. And Uh, the reason why I do that, these hit at around like a 90% win rate. So like if you get like a Taco Tuesday or one of those promo bets that I told you about before, these are essentially like automatic wins 9 times out of 10. And so it's just like a nice bankroll builder to have. A way I like to do things, like if I have an entry with like 3 straight lines, right? And the first one loses of the 3, I still have those 2 others. I'll throw in one of these parlay fillers individually with each one of those, and then just have a couple different combinations. So that's a good way to play these. I only have 2 of them tonight though, so there's really not too much to pick from, but we're going with RJ Barrett over 19.5 PRA. He burned us last game, only having 16 PRA, but quite honestly, he has these games, once or twice a year. He went over this number in 54 out of 58 games last season. You can see there were a couple games in there where you only ended up with like, it's like 16 in that game. He had a 19 there. He had a 17 here. So once in a while, he's going to have one of those games. But all in all, he's gone over this number in 90% of the games or 93% of the games to look at the full sample size. And, he's also gone over this number in 4 to 5 games this year, averaging 26.8 PRA per game. I'm just ignoring that last game. Just an off night for him. He tends to have those occasionally. So this 19.5 line is just a really good prop and probably my favorite parlay filler on the night. Something I forgot to mention before, but I just thought of right now that I wanted to talk about. So, I have a lot of plays on this slate today. It's 5 straight bets and 2 parlay fillers. This doesn't mean I'm actually placing more money. I'm just having more slips, more combinations, but the amount of money I'm betting on the day doesn't change. So that's something that you should really look into as just like a little mini strategy point for you guys. If there are a lot of plays you like on a slate, don't bet more money, just do different combinations. And, like last night, I only had 2 plays, but on those 2 plays, I played about the same amount of money as I would on a normal night. So don't variate the amount of money you're playing. That's really good bankroll management for you guys. Just try to stay steady with the amount of money you're betting on every night. Steady. Treat it like a steady growth. So as your bankroll grows, you can, increase that number as time goes on. But just because there's a lot of plays that I like on a slate does not mean you should be placing like a ton of money tonight and just completely blowing your bankroll, because there always is an off night that's going to happen eventually. It's just the way gambling goes. But anyways, this is my last parlay filler tonight. We're going with Luka over 6.5 rebounds. Going to filter for games without LeBron and filter for games with Austin Reeves, just to kind of show the games that he was with the Lakers the last 2 years. And we're looking up. I'm just going to hang on. Let me get back there. 6.5. We'll go LeBron out, Reeves in. Okay. So looking at the sample, it's only a 7-game sample size, but he averages 10.6 rebounds per game in this situation. He's gone over all 7 times, never even going below 8. If he's healthy tonight and he plays his normal minutes, I would fully expect him to end up with 8 or more tonight. And considering they're giving us 6.5, it's a solid line for us to get. So that's going to wrap things up for me. Like I mentioned before, a lot of plays tonight. Don't play more money than you normally would just because it's a lot of plays. I will not have a video out on Saturday or Sunday. I typically skip the NBA on Sundays entirely. I'll play a little bit on Saturday, but it's definitely not my normal volume, just because weekends the NBA get really weird. You never know what the players are doing the night before, and you just there's just so many unknowns, so many phantom injuries, and it's not something I like to mess with. But I will have my NFL video posted late on Saturday night, early on Sunday morning, just like I typically do. So be on the lookout for that one. And like I mentioned before, join the free Discord server, completely free to join, really good community in there. And last but definitely not least, best of luck on your bets tonight, everybody. Thank you for watching.